Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, densely search peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. Welcome. I'm a useful idiot. And let's talk about the Trump inauguration today. Um, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed, and it feels like a huge transition. And it feels like a 4 year national nightmare has ended. And it really feels that way, and it came across that way. And I have to say, it was just seemed like a historic moment, which it was. It's kind of funny because originally I was going to make a video called Adolf Hitler was inaugurated as the 47th president today, in a dig to the liberal media and all their characterizations. But I have to say that I have to give this a lot more dignity than I thought I would, because it was very impressive, and the gravity of this change is very apparent. And the fact is, from Trump's speech, one actually feels like we're moving into an era of more transparency and of more democracy, and his words were very forceful in that direction. So I'm impressed. I didn't think I would be, but it really does feel like a huge national nightmare has ended. But I have to caveat that because the Biden administration itself hasn't really ended. As Speaker Rogers pointed out recently, he had a meeting with Biden a few years ago and talked about an executive order that Biden had signed, and Biden had no recollection of it whatsoever and completely denied that he ever signed that executive order. And he also mentioned the fact that he walked into that office to talk to Biden and Kamala Harris, and CIA directive CIA director was there along with some other DNC staffers, and he really got the impression that he was seeing who was actually running the government these last 4 years. So that to say that we're saying goodbye to a Biden administration, I think it's fair to characterize it that we really didn't have a president these last 4 years. And I think the other thing that was kind of moving about the inauguration today is there's no denying that this is one of the most amazing political stories in U.S. history, the comeback and redemption of Donald Trump as president. It really is pretty amazing, and I feel for his willingness to boast about his achievement, because it really is profound. And I also think that it's really pretty fascinating that even the last couple of days before Trump was officially sworn in as president, he had a couple of major achievements orchestrating the ceasefire, although I have a lot of issues with the so-called ceasefire. But the fact that he orchestrated a ceasefire and got a hostage prisoner exchange, and that that is on the table now, is pretty amazing. And then also the fact that he actually got the TikTok ban reconfigured after 12 hours of TikTok being off the air. And as a lot of pundits have pointed out, the Gen Z crowd out there, the ones who basically live on TikTok, um, this really hurt them where they live. And to have Trump restore it to them not only shows that he looks like he's going to be a champion of free speech, but he did something for them, something tangible, something they can feel. And see, so he just won over another huge swath of the American people. And this also goes a long way to confirming. Now we feel like we have a leader in office, and Biden is going out with one of the lowest approval ratings in history, 25%. So that says that 75% of the American people now are open-minded to what's going to happen moving forward. And I made a lambast of the idea that any of these presidents could be unifiers, but here I am having to eat my words because it looks possibly like Trump could actually be a unifier, and if he makes the right moves, um, he could solidify that label. A good example of that is moving forward with the deportation plans and going after criminal elements, criminal migrant elements in the United States very quickly. And this is something that 70% of Americans support. And so I think a lot of liberals are going to find that they're going to benefit, and they're going to be a little more open-minded about Trump moving forward. And I have a couple of other observations. One of them is the fact that I now believe that the liberal media might totally collapse now because of the fact that Trump is moving forward with a completely different feel than 2016. And I don't think this daily dose of Trump derangement syndrome and hysteria and hyperbole is going to work for the liberal media anymore. And so I think moving forward, this could really be the end of liberal media as we know it. And we're also seeing an embracing of Trump by a lot of elements in the United States and around the world that shows that people are ready for something different and a bigger vision. And for me, of course, the most important, transformational change. That's essentially what I want moving forward is transformational change. And Trump has made a lot of big promises, but there looks to be the idea that we really could see transformational change. And so I'm all for that. He had a lot of interesting points in his speech today as well, and it looks like some of the other things I have done videos on recently about the idea that woke is dead. He declared very loudly today that there are only two genders, that he's going to dismantle the DEI programs in the United States government. And and he even talked about this grand social engineering project is coming to an end. And I think even a lot of liberals, except for the very diehards, are going to be happy with that. That said, it's still surprising that there's even 25% people that think Biden did a good job and that they're going to go after Trump and attack Trump at every turn moving forward in the next 4 years. So they're not on the right side of history, and I think today really demonstrated that. And lastly, I want to talk about the fact, of course, per the heading of my video, Trump was absolutely vicious. He was a sledgehammer going after the last 4 years and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their policies and what they have done to America. And he was merciless. And I have to say it was the most brutal public beating and humiliation I think I've ever seen, and probably is in U.S. history. The fact that they were sitting right next to him and looking at their body language, particularly Kamala Harris, just pathetic. She knew she was getting a beating, and she was not happy about it. And of course, she couldn't muster applause when all the rest of the room was applauding. Let's remember, too, that when Biden and Harris entered the room for this inauguration, they got roundly booed. And so this was a day that they did not enjoy at all. And another person that didn't enjoy this day was Hillary Clinton, watching her facial expressions and her body language. Of course, you know she's hating every moment because not only did she not become president because of Trump, she didn't get to claim to be the first female president in the United States, and she got crushed. And so it was a very humiliating moment for her as well. We know full well she thought she was next in line. She thought she had it in the bag, and now the guy that crushed her in 2016 is now right there in front of her, being ushered in as the next president of the United States. And of course, Bill was just ogling all the women in the room. I'm sure he was looking up at Melania Trump and then looking over at Hillary and wondering what happened to his life. And wow. So anyway, it looks like Trump has all pistons firing. He signed executive orders already today, and every day moving forward now is going to be full of surprises. It looks like he's going to work really hard. And unlike Biden, who wasn't really president for the last 4 years and spent a third of the entire presidency on vacation and napping, it looks like there's a lot of energy in the White House right now, and I think it's really going to be evident and be felt by the American population in general. So they're going to have a hard time mustering a lot of resistance. Even though there was a protest crowd outside there, apparently it dissipated pretty quickly. They weren't that energized, and I think they kind of instinctually felt their own ineffectiveness. And so this is really going to be fascinating moving forward to see the fact that a lot of people in this country and a lot of people around the globe are lining up to support the new 47th, 45th, and 47th President of the United States and his very ambitious agenda. So there you have it. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too?